Can we actually say that, I mean, I guess I can approve them, but shouldn't Ron be the one to sign them since he's the one that,
Ran the meeting.
yeah.
I don't know how we're around.
All right, let's get going. We're a couple minutes past the top of the hour. I'm going to go ahead and call this regular planning meeting to order on November 4th at 2:05 PM. Christy, will you do a roll call for us? Or Chris?
I'll do a roll call here.
Sounds good.
So we have William Hall,
Here.
Jacob Rigsby,
Here.
Martin Byers,
Here.
and Ron Michelina,
Here.
Joshua Richardson,
He's not here.
Vicki Williams. Vicki Williams will be joining soon. Alex Koenig,
Present.
and I believe that's everybody that you have to
And-
call.
Rick is not going to join or is going to join?
He's gonna join.
Okay, so we'll get Rick and Vicky. All right. We have a quorum, though, I believe, so we'll just go ahead and continue on. At this time, if there's anybody from the commission that would need to declare a conflict of interest, this would be the time to do it.
I have none.
None.
All right, seeing none, we'll move forward then. Alex, Chris, Christie, can we get certification of compliance with Resolution 2025-01?
I certify that this meeting has been notified in compliance with Resolution 2025-01.
Great. Let's move on to approval of agenda. We have an agenda in front of us that's been posted with, in accordance of Resolution 2025. Any changes, approval?
I move that we approve the agenda for Tuesday, November 4th, 2025.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, let's move to roll call vote.
Roll call vote, William Hall,
Yes.
Ron Michelina,
Yes.
Jacob Rigsby,
I'll abstain because I was not present.
and Martin Byers.
Yes.
All right. Oh, wait, that's agenda.
Yeah, that was done.
All right, well, yes. I'm gonna go to approval of minutes would be the next thing. Sorry, guys. We got the regular meeting minutes. I was so excited to abstain. But is there any discussion or is there a motion for the meeting minutes from last meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the meetings minutes from the regular meeting of October 7th, 2025 as presented. I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a roll call vote.
So William Hall,
Aye.
Michelina,
Aye.
Rigsby,
Abstain, this one, actually.
and Byers.
Aye.
Sounds good. All right, let's move on to our public input. I think most folks might know, but this is the opportunity for our public input. If there's something not on the agenda that you would like to bring to the commission's attention, now would be the time to do it. Each person would have up to 3 minutes. So I don't know, I think most folks are here for the other items that we have on the agenda, but Don, would you want to come on down? Thanks for being here today.
Dawn McGlasson. I have the ongoing issues of the blighted properties that are in my neighborhood, and I'd like to know if there's a possibility of getting an update, a written update that appears in every meeting to figure out how these properties and how they're handled, how it's going forward. So the properties are at 100 Nogal Place, 116 Nogal Place, and 100 Old Lincoln. 100 Old Lincoln apparently is abandoned, and grass and everything has grown up around it. 100 Nogal is abandoned, but I'd like to know what an update is for those two properties. And then 116 Nogal is the one that has lien against the property because the Villa de Ruidoso was brought in to do repairs, and progress has stalled.
Thank you. I saw that you came last meeting to ask about these as well. We'll make sure that we can get an update for you.
Okay.
I don't know if we have one today, or Alex, you'd want to comment on it. I know usually we don't do back and forth in public input, but since Dawn was here and brought these
Yeah,
concerns.
I'll get you an update within the next couple weeks with that.
Is
and,
it possible to be in writing on the
Oh, yes,
meeting
yes,
notes? Okay.
yes,
All right.
yes.
Good, thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don. Thanks for being here. Any other public input? Okay. Seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close our public input and move to our quasi judicial public hearing. The first one, variance case PV 2025-179. Alex, what can you tell us about this?
So this item was not going to be moving forward because the applicant did not provide us the information that was required for us to do our case study. We will be working with this applicant to bring this forward at a future meeting.
Okay. Thank you. Let's move to the next item, conditional use approval 2025-101. Alex, what can you tell us about this one?
The same as the previous case. Again, this applicant, we're still working with them to get the information required for them, for us to complete the staff case report, and we will work with them to bring this forward in the future.
Okay, thank you. Let's move to the next one, conditional use, CU 2025-102. And
This-
before you go forward, sorry, Christy, it looks like Rick's there, do you mind? Yep. Hey, Rick.
Next one.
All right, let's continue. Conditional use, CU 2025-102.
This is a request for a conditional use for cannabis manufacturer type 1 for repackaging of cannabis items only. This property is at 412 Meacham Drive. Property is zoned C2, and it is the Monster House is the name of the business, and they are here both, I believe, also in person and also through the Zoom to answer your questions on this matter.
Great. Do you mind just raising your right hand, say you'll tell the truth, introducing yourself, and then tell us a little bit about what you're trying to do? Yeah.
I will tell the truth. My name is Mark James Blond Senior. What we're trying to do is repackage cannabis. We currently, prior we had cannabis in a bottle, and we basically take it from the bottle where it's bulk stored, and we use tongs, gloves and sanitization, and put it into another bag. So we're able to sell grams instead of saying pre-weigh. It helps the consumer being able to see what they get versus not being able to see what they get, like the baby switch. They're actually able to see it, they watch us weigh it, and they see that it's all sanitary and we're doing everything like it.
That's great. Any other items we should be aware of that you're seeking for this conditional use, or any other information?
Not at this time, no, sir.
Okay. And is Maggie the other applicant? Okay. Hi there, Maggie. We'll have you come off mute if you're going to comment on this one and say your name and say you'll tell the truth, nothing but the truth. And if she does not come off mute, are you comfortable presenting? Okay, sounds good. We'll just, there you are. Can you hear us? Do we have the volume up on our side?
Technology is wonderful when it's working.
All right, we will continue on and we'll direct our questions to the applicant, if that's okay. Awesome. Anything else before we transition? So at this point in time, we'll open it up for general public feedback.
Yes, sir.
You'll have the ability to respond to any of that feedback. After that, we'll close public input, and then the commission will have some questions for you, I'm sure.
Correct. Yes, sir. Good.
Okay. At this time, would anybody like to comment publicly on this item? Okay, seeing none. Hi, Vicky, can you hear us?
Yeah, because we can't hear Vicky or Rick.
It's gotta be on our end here.
It's muted.
Oh, yeah, the community development is,
Right there. Okay.
hello, can you guys hear us now?
Hi, yeah.
Hi,
Okay.
Vicky.
Can you hear me?
I
can.
can hear you, Ricky.
That's why I bring her.
Can you ask my wife again?
Hi, guys.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, Rick. Now.
Sorry, we were having a heated debate about how wonderful you, Rick, and Vicky are, and now that we're done with that, we'll move on. And Maggie, are you there as well?
Yes, I'm here and I can hear everyone.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
okay, good.
Thanks for joining. Maggie, we were just discussing the application for the conditional use. We were about to open it up to public input. Mark here gave us an overview of what you're trying to do for this conditional use. So I don't know if you want to raise your right hand and add anything and tell the truth, nothing but the truth?
I do agree. I don't know if there is anything to add. I can just, state that we're only seeking to repackage flour and that it does not involve any kind of combustible or explosive elements that other manufacturing types include.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, at this time, we'll open it up to public comment, feedback. All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public input, and we'll get feedback from staff, Alex, and then we'll open it up to the commission.
Right. So upon review of the application, staff does find that this request for the cannabis manufacturing Class 1 does not appear to adversely impact health, safety, general welfare. This request will also require the additional licensing from the New Mexico Regulations Licensing Department and is consistent with the village code and the plan, the comprehensive plan. This operation has been at this location for more than 2 years. We feel that is a reasonable request to add this repackaging to the operation. We do recommend approval of this conditional use request. We find that 9 off-street parking spaces are required to comply with the parking requirements of 54-125, 8 spaces for the retail area, one for the manufacturing operation. We do find that there are more than 9 parking spaces on the site. We also find that they are in compliance for Section 54-100, that the property is more than 300 feet from a school or adult or child daycare center. The site plan meets the minimum code requirements. This is not applicable because it's an existing site, not a new building. All of the activities will be conducted inside the building. They're not proposing to have outdoor storage. And lastly, that the air filtration plan approved by the building official and the New Mexico Environment Department is already in place. With that, I will stand for any questions.
Great. Thanks, Alex. All right, at this time, I'll open it up to the commission. Questions for the applicant or for staff on this conditional use request?
Did we, for Alex, did we get any letters, positive or negative feedback on this?
There were no comments received, either phone, email, or by letter.
Okay, thank you. For the applicant, you've been there 2 years, and I believe you're still just going to use the existing building. You're just going to repurpose some things inside. Is that
Correct. So we have a flower wall where the bottles will be stored on. Mm-hmm. So it's right behind the counter, not attainable to customers. And then we have a weighing section off to the side.
Okay, so you're not like adding to the building?
No, nothing is,
Okay,
literally nothing is changing. We already have our manufacturing license by the CCD.
Okay.
We're already licensed for it. We just didn't have this
Okay.
special use license.
Special use, okay. That's all I had.
Yeah.
I have no questions for the applicant. Rick, you have anything?
I
No,
got
sir.
one quick question. You say it's for repackaging, and you described just taking it and basically separating it from the bulk jar to
A Mylar jar, correct.
okay. Are there other methods of repackaging that this would cover also?
It would cover packaging it into joints and packaging it into plastic containers besides Mylars, but it's all dealing with flour and nothing else. So it will all go into a container. The only two containers we have done it on is pre-rolls, and we've done it into flour where we're doing grams. So,
But yes, that would be the only substance that we would be repackaging would be the flour. We are not seeking to repackage any kind of edibles or any other types of cannabis that's usable.
Okay, thank you. Anything else from the commission? Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
If we gave you this conditional use and perhaps Stephanie or Alex, whoever's doing this right now, could clarify, but if we give them a conditional use for this type of a manufacturing that they're requesting, this M1, right? Does
Yes.
that mean that will include edibles and things like that, should they desire to do that in the future?
It will not. So there's manufacturing classes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Class 1 is just for the repackaging of cannabis flower. Manufacturing class 2 is the manufacturing of edibles, and that does require additional certificates through the environmental department and stuff. And honestly, we don't even have a kitchen. So we won't be touching any edibles. And then manufacturing class 3 and 4 deals with extraction. And that's where we get into solvents and butane and extraction, like containment facilities. Right. And so we do not have any, we're not even licensed for, no, that's a lie. We are licensed for that, but we are not doing any of those types of manufacturing. We don't have access to it.
And that is one of the recommended conditions that we would have, should the commission decide to approve this request, that for any future expansion of manufacturing activities, including but not limited to extractions, production of edibles or topical products, or any manufacturing requiring a 2, 3, or 4 license, they would have to come back to this body for a new approval.
Okay, that's in the conditions.
If somebody's got a motion, I'd listen to the motion.
Based upon the foregoing findings of fact per 54-70, 54-85, F6, and 54-97 of the Village Code, I move to grant the requested conditional use approval for case CU-2024-102 with the condition stated in the case report.
Second.
I got a motion and a second from Vicky. Is there discussion? Now would be the time to call it out.
Well, I heard 2024, and
Well, that's what it-
on the front page, it's 2025.
No, I read the motion. It was
Yeah, I think that's
And
a
I think it's a
mistake.
typo.
Okay.
It just needs to,
It's 2025.
Yeah.
I thought it was my bad eye.
Yes, that would be my error. Apologies. Thank you.
So the amended motion would say CU 2025-102.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Any other discussion of the motion?
No.
Seeing none, let's move to a roll call vote with the amended motion.
Roll call votes, Hall,
Yes.
Michelina,
Yes.
Rigsby,
Yes.
Byers,
yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Bow and Rick Bow.
and Ball.
Yes.
Great. Motion carries. You have your conditional use. I believe we have something for you to sign stating the case report and all that information. So, Mark, thanks for being here, and Maggie, thank you for being here as well.
thank you so much for your time.
Excellent. Thank you for your time.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to our next item. I think we'll need Alex for this one, but it's a continuation of old business. There was a discussion last meeting about the allowable uses in the Midtown District. There were 2 items that were discussed last meeting, and this is a continuation of that in the old business. once Alex is signed, we'll get his feedback on what he would like to discuss, or is there a?
All right. So yes, that was, we discussed these two things last time, and then the bit of homework that we had to add on there was for the commission to perhaps consider, if necessary, establishing a subcommittee to investigate this further, and then also proposed use standards for a automobile sales, rental, what's the exact language? Automobile, boat, motorcycle, or RV sales and rental. So put some proposed conditions that, use standards that should be reviewed should someone request that. And so we'll bring forward 4 of those, that minor vehicle repairs and washing of vehicles may be allowed as an incidental and ancillary use to such a use there. All vehicle repairs must be conducted inside of an enclosed building. Automobile fueling may be allowed as an incidental or ancillary use, and then no automobile fuel sales would be permitted, would be the 4 that I would bring forward with that. So as this is a discussion item, would then, I guess, deflect back to the commission if there's discussion that they would wish to have on this, or if you would wish to move to establish a subcommittee to do additional review into this, or if you would like to stop the consideration of one or both of these proposed conditional uses in the C3 district.
So just so, because again, I wasn't here last meeting and I want to be mindful. The outcome of last meeting's discussion was to evaluate whether we need to kick this to a subcommittee and for you to bring more specifics in terms of the changes that would need to happen to the ordinance. And that's what this is presented to us today?
Yes.
Okay. In the changes that were presented, well, I guess the first question is to the commission, do we want to discuss this here or do we want to kick it to a subcommittee? Let's answer that question first.
I don't think we need to kick it to a subcommittee. I mean, I think look at each one of these two things separately. I mean, they're 2 different issues. I mean, we, have had time to think about it over the last month and implications and what it may or may not mean. So I think we can hash it out here and come to a resolution from the committee's perspective here. I don't think we need to go to a subcommittee.
And I would interject, of course, that if the commission does move down that path, we will then have to have a public hearing scheduled, because this is an official text amendment that we would be able to do that at the next meeting at the earliest.
If they're approved. If they're not.
Correct. If the commission says go forward, we would still have to do a public hearing part of that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Vicki, were you agreeing with Bill?
I think so. I guess it depends on how things go today.
Okay, fair.
We can always punt to a subcommittee if we need to, but
Yeah.
it sounds like we probably should get a motion to discuss this item, but if there's no objection, we can just get into the discussion. Let's take them both one at a time. Let's start with the automobile, if there are no objections to that.
No objections, no.
Hearing none, let's get into discussion then. The first item, which is, Alex, the updates that you recommended is updating the language into the use table so that automobile, boat, motorcycle, sales and rental would be incorporated as a conditional use within the C3 district?
Correct.
Okay. And is there a definition? I'm sorry, the packet is maybe not as clear on what was added or changed. I didn't see, because
So that there is no definition that is currently in the code. If that is something that the commission feels that we should add, in there, or if it is clear as to what automobile, boat, motorcycle, or RV sales and rental. If that is clear enough, there would be no need for a definition.
Just let me know when you want commissioner comments.
I mean, I think we're in the middle of that. So if you have thoughts.
Here's my thoughts on it. Looking at it, from the standpoint, you look at particularly RV sales, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other zoning designations where that's permitted. C3 is a unique zoning designation primarily around Midtown. Smaller lots, smaller surface area, 0 lot lines. The challenge, and it dawned on me as I reread some of the C3 requirements for retail, is the retail requirements in C3 are all inside buildings. They're not allowed to do street sales or have, unless they have a special event and a permit. The RV sales, by definition, you have to have that outside. That's outside. So do you really want to open that can of worms where you permit a business to sell outside and every other business in Midtown says, hey, this person can do it in C3, I'm in C3, I want to do it. And that's something where, to me, that makes Midtown every weekend look like a bizarre flea market. And the charm to me of Midtown, and when you get the visitors here, is the ability to go in and out of different shops. And you're not fighting around stuff sitting outside for sale.
Yeah.
So that's why I look at and go, that's why that was never allowed to be permitted or a conditional use in C3. It is by its very definition, everything has to be outside. And then the other proposal we had for the standards or allowable work, we have problems with that allowable work in shops that are in C2.
Yeah.
And we've had plenty of those come to the commission, and I think, say whatever business wanted to do this, they go away and someone else says, ooh, I can do a shop in the middle of Midtown. And that creates enough problems in C2, and I don't think you want to create that problem in C3.
I would agree with that.
And that's kind of how, as I've looked about it and thought about it, I said, you can't just allow somebody to do something different than everyone else without allowing everyone else to do outside sales. And outside sales is already a challenge when you get a lot of people in Midtown on the sidewalk. You know, now you're going to have more things on the sidewalk than people go out in the street, and the potential, you know. So from my end, that's just a no-brainer. That one doesn't even need to change. Just leave it as it is.
I'd love to hear some more thoughts, but I do agree with that. Part of the language is rental. We have had, let's call it, rentals in the past for motorized vehicles. How did the scooter, for example, how did they get approved in C3? The scooter rental? Do we have that information, or they did it and we never stopped them?
Is that an ongoing operation?
I haven't seen it in years.
Okay.
About 2 or 3 years since they sold.
Okay. So that would,
Property actually in C3?
That's in C3, that's the
Okay.
big.
Yeah, it was at those A-frame buildings.
Yeah,
those A-frame buildings?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to investigate how that might have come about.
Okay, so it could have just been we didn't enforce the
Probably.
ordinances that we have.
Okay. Either we didn't, either was a situation like that, or there was a different interpretation of one of the permitted uses in the Midtown District at that time.
Because the context for the reason we're having this discussion is specifically for short rentals of side-by-sides, all-terrain vehicles, right? Like, that's the reason that we're having this discussion, right? So I think it's different than an RV sale and rental. So I would argue that we almost need to do a subcategory or break one out, but I'm open to suggestions if others have thoughts.
Okay. I'm in total agreement with the inventory of such not being allowed inside or in the C3. But if somebody wants to do a office-like situation where you come in and you fill out your paperwork and stuff, and you can rent your whatever, and then you go down the street or over to Meacham or wherever the inventory is and pick it up. I'm good with that, you know.
Well, that's already, office facilities are permitted already.
Right, right, and I mean, but so I don't know, I mean, you could sell cars the same way, or RVs or whatever, but the inventory, I mean, they sell real estate downtown.
Yeah.
But the inventory is out in the community.
If the inventory and the repairs and all that are outside of C3.
I don't want, I agree, none of that should be.
That's why I said, you don't need to change it. You can put a sales office anywhere.
Right, and as long as that stipulation is in there.
Yeah, but a sales office, you can already do that.
Yes.
You don't need a special, you just gotta go through the building permit process to do the sales office.
Opening a business.
Vicky, you're in agreement with that?
Yes.
So it's
I
the
am.
inventory, we don't want a bunch of scooters, RVs.
Right.
You don't wanna be doing the
Et cetera.
repair work
No.
in a building.
We don't want lifts, we don't want
No.
oil changes, we don't want car washes.
No.
Mm-mm.
Not in C3. C2,
No.
have
Yeah.
at it. You got everything you need.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think C3 is a special designation in Midtown, and I think allowing inventory like that out in the middle of, I'm sorry, it changes
Yeah.
the character of Midtown.
I agree.
I agree.
I don't want to
Yeah.
do that.
100%, that's not why we have it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And there are a couple properties where you could have, in theory, a shop in the middle of a parking lot in C3. So even removing, I mean, there's a property for sale, a motel for sale that has a nice parking lot. In theory, you could stack up cars, RVs, scooter, whatever you're selling or renting in that.
Yeah.
Rick, do you have any thoughts?
No, I totally agree with you guys. I don't think this C3 area is the appropriate place for what I'm reading here. And in seeing what's happened in the past, and you guys brought up the scooter, for example, I think we'd be opening Pandora's box here and
yeah. I
not
think they
be
should.
doing justice to our downtown district.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I look at it as I know this is a weird example, but it's like putting an asphalt plant in a subdivision. You don't do that for obvious reasons. You don't do this for obvious reasons.
Right.
Okay. I don't know if we need a motion or any kind of solidification, but it sounds like we as the commission don't want to take up any changes for that particular item, automobile, boat, motorcycle sales, et cetera, for C3.
For C3.
Okay, then let's take the next one, entertainment, recreational, health, and exercise facility. What does that mean, if you don't mind me asking?
This is a bit of a catch-all category as well. And so why we are bringing this forward for discussion is another Midtown business is seeking to add a pavilion that would be used for outdoor events in there. And so that's where, based upon our interpretation of the options available in the use chart, this is where that use mostly seemed to best fit in there. So it would not be, this is not a standalone kind of operation, but it is an add-on to an existing business.
We already have this in Midtown, so I mean,
Yeah, that was
there's
my
people
question.
that are outside playing music on a stage. That seems like entertainment to me, so help me understand.
Just want to be sure that going forward, we have a situation, we have an opportunity to have some control over how additional businesses are able to do outdoor entertainment.
So I guess maybe to follow up on Jacob's point, and I think I asked it last time, how do places like WPS or Quarters fall into Are they pre-existing, or what's the deal with?
we will do some investigation to see if there's any kind of permit record that would show how those uses came to be.
Yeah, because that's basically what you're looking at. I mean, that would be the type thing that I think this comes
The old
under.
sanctuary property, I think, is considered C3, you know, and
Mountain Annie's old one, is that the one you're talking about? Oh, no, the one.
No,
across the
no.
river.
One across the river.
Three, yeah,
That we got over.
Is it C3?
it was C3, now that Bart brings it up, it was C3, yeah. Because C3 goes into that parking lot and all along the river there.
I see.
Because somebody wanted to change it from C3 to their home, and that was,
Well, they did, and then they came and wanted to change it back.
back, yeah.
And we denied it, and the council overturned our
Overturned it,
denial
yeah.
and changed it back.
They wanted to change it for the sale, so it was easier for them to sell.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
and so just so, again, I'm a little slow right now.
Okay.
Had a month off, I haven't thought. Somebody came forward and said, we want to have a stage outside, or we want to have a, something outside, amphitheater of sorts. And the staff's opinion was that's not allowed in C3,
Correct,
even though the primary use might be allowed in C3.
correct.
So I can have a bar, and I might have outside stage area where I can put up a stage, but that's not allowed, even though my use underneath C3 as a bar is approved.
Correct. We did not find anything in the current iteration of the development code that clearly stated that an outdoor entertainment venue could be a permitted use in conjunction with a bar or any other kind of business.
Unless, if it was in C2, though, you could do that, because it says conditional use in C2.
Right.
And so, yes, and so that would be going back to Jack's Backstage. That is why they have a conditional use in regard to that outdoor entertainment.
Let's put a pin in entertainment, because I think that's not true. What is a recreational health or exercise facility, outdoor? So like, the gym equipment we have out here, we can't have that in any, is that even legal back there?
I would say in theory, it would be something similar to that. However, that would be, so that's a public land, and so it gets a little bit less clear with that. Typically, an outdoor, what I would say for an outdoor recreation would be ball fields, would be mini golf, would be a go-kart track.
In C3?
Or batting cages, something of that nature.
So is axe throwing entertainment? Or is
that
it
a
somebody,
recreational?
setting up and entertaining you, or are you entertaining yourself? I mean, that's,
I guess one of the, maybe you just allow or consider, get rid of the recreational health and exercise facility outdoor, and maybe since we've got a number of facilities that are already doing outdoor, you just consider entertainment in C3 as a conditional use and not the others. Because entertainment, like say the axe throwing, or be an outdoor pavilion or outdoor seating,
Right.
restaurants have outdoor seating, I
Yeah.
mean, so.
Right.
Shouldn't a bar be able to have a similar?
And they can have somebody play music inside. I think I'm in agreement with you there, Bill. I think we usually do it by primary use. So is there primary use for this, is it a performance stage? Are they trying to compete with Spencer Theater? Is it, they're just trying to serve alcohol and having live music?
Outdoors.
So the use of the new addition, is that what you're asking?
What is the primary use of a business that came to you?
It is a bar.
It is a
Bar
bar.
microbrewery restaurant,
Right, and that's permitted,
correct.
right. I think it's I don't know, maybe I'm coming off the rails here, but like, the primary permitted use is approved. It doesn't need a,
Yeah.
so is this just coming for the stage that they need to build, whether or not they would do a approved
Yes,
building
that
permit?
is the reason why we're bringing it forward for your consideration.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. You have quarters there, and they put, a roof, and now they've got a patio, and people are under there, and they sit and drink. You're saying that they're going to bring in a bar and have a separate area where they put a pavilion? It won't be attached to the building, or?
That is correct. This would be a freestanding structure.
Okay,
Within their parking lot, or?
yeah, that.
Yes, it would be located in the existing parking lot.
But it's one business operating at that location.
Yes, one single business.
We all know exist and have numerous different locations in town over the years.
Yeah, that's what I'm struggling with, is that you've got businesses that are already kind of doing that. And, either they've been grandfathered in, like I said, before the ordinances came into place in the 80s,
Yeah.
those uses stay in place until you either upgrade them or whatever, something like that. But that's, like I said, from the entertainment end, I don't know why, and this is my thought, my opinion, is why you wouldn't, from entertainment only, not the other uses there, but entertainment only, is have it conditional, because that allows you to then deal with the noise and the potential nuisances from that end. And that end of it seems to make sense for me, but like I said, I don't know why you would have a recreational health and exercise facility, in a C3, and I don't know what that
Outdoor.
would envision. But entertainment, in addition to, and maybe that's part of what becomes the conditional use, is that the existing business has to already be approved in C3, whether it be a restaurant, a bar.
Yeah.
And then this becomes if they want to do a pavilion or something separate, it becomes a conditional use, and then the applicant has to go through all the proper permitting, designate all the stuff, because if you look at that section 5485 G2 that talks about the noise and all the stuff you've got to deal with, it makes the applicant address all of those concerns that are probably the concerns of the adjoining businesses or adjoining neighbors. But that's just for the entertainment, and that'd just be for, entertainment with a use that's already permitted in C3, and I don't know what that means.
If they were to come to you with the same concept as like quarters, they have the bar, and then they have an attached patio, would this be before us, or would this even be a question? Or is it only because it's separate?
Thank you for that question. I believe it really is a separate thing. However, I was also not here when Quarters did their expansion as well. That was not something that was approved when I was here
Yeah,
with the
but-
village
I,
in there, so.
I'm going to use a couple of real-world business examples. I'm going to pick on them because I know the owners. Jasper, the winery, right? He has that nice outdoor patio area. If you want somebody to come and play music, that doesn't need to come by us, right?
Yeah.
If he has his operating hours and he has somebody playing music on that patio, it would not come to planning and zoning, it would not come to this commission. Yes or no? Would it come to the development department?
So there was nothing that came through for permitting for what Jasper did with his.
Sorry,
with the
no, he
patio.
has a patio that's
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, pre-existing patio.
Right.
So, but, okay, so.
But if you want somebody he wants a local musician to play guitar.
So I just go, here's, I guess, my response to that would be, if it did come to us, I think I would have to look at that and say, we don't have anything clear in our code that says that is a permitted use in the C3 district. And so that's why, again, bringing it forward for your consideration, discussion, so that we can either have, some determination as to what, if there is a process involved that requires coming to you, or if there's something that can be handled either administratively or through a code amendment that would also make it administrative.
Another example, I have a retail space, and I want to run a big sale, and I want to have somebody come do magic in my retail space, and I'm going to sell a bunch of magic stuff. say, this is Books Etc., because they sell magic stuff. That would be entertainment, right? But that wouldn't fall under, that wouldn't need to come to,
No, if they were doing it as a, I would say a one-off, a one-time event, that would either be a special event or it would not be anything that would need either commission or village review and approval.
okay. I think I'm in agreement with Bill, because there's too many hairs to cut with this and split. I think if we want to have it systematically addressed, we'd need to break out the entertainment. I don't think we want a go-kart track, even though maybe we expand the Midtown District all the way to Fun Trackers, and it becomes part of C3, maybe that's a different conversation.
That's a different conversation.
But I do think it makes sense to carve out the entertainment, if that's something that we want to do. But in my opinion, it's the primary use.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. That's where I'm struggling. If its primary use is approved, and this is an ancillary use, I don't see where the problem is. I don't. I mean, maybe I'm just not seeing it. What am I missing, Vicky?
Well, I'm just wondering, if we permit outdoor entertainment regardless, if you have a bar and you can have outdoor entertainment, meaning music, I guess axe throwing, those kinds of things, then what's to keep Quarters from fighting with Win Place and Show, from fighting with Downshift down the road, and having everybody out doing this all at once?
Yeah, I mean, another example, the village plays music loudly in the loudspeakers, and they're
Yeah.
fighting with Win Place and Show today. You have competing music, and sometimes you have quarters competing. So like, the nuisance is already there. And so, like,
So should exterior or outdoor entertainment require a permit,
right,
for a certain length of time, or that weekend, or however it's worked out? But I mean, would that not be more controllable if we made it an somewhat easy permitting process with certain exclusions, or? I don't know.
yeah, I think maybe this requires more discussion, Alex.
It's a tough one.
Because there's a lot of nuance in the word entertainment, like,
Yeah.
is this a dedicated amphitheater to throw parties like we do at Wingfield? Is this a bar that wants to have live music every once in a while? Is this somebody on the corner in front of a retail shop playing music to get people into the retail shop?
So what I think I'm hearing, to summarize from the commission, is perhaps coming up with something that could be an administrative approval for something that is an accessory use to certain types of businesses in the Midtown.
Yeah, I think.
Right.
Chairman, this sounds like a case-by-case,
I agree.
Yeah.
process that we've been through. And I'll call it, as well as, not putting handcuffs on a business for the
agree.
competitive spirit of them, trying to compete and maintain their business. So I see it as case by case. And, when you go into entertainment, how many categories can we list just in entertainment alone?
Totally agree.
And, an exercise facility, is that yoga, or there again, you got Xterra, coming to town for the next several years. So how are you going to define, unless it's other than case by case? And I just don't see any other way.
I would agree.
So Rick, does that mean you make, right now, all of those uses are prohibited? Does that mean you just make it conditional, where it has to come, has to go to the planning department and then come to this committee here?
Well, the way I see it right now, if it's not broke, don't try to fix it.
Yeah, well, that's, there's that point too.
Somebody's putting in a bar, in my opinion. I mean, maybe WPS is a bar, right? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Quarters is a nightclub slash
Bar.
bar slash, I don't remember the third dash that it has.
Restaurant.
Restaurant, yeah.
Fight Club.
The problem I see with it is, I mean, if we open up something where somebody comes in, unless we do this on a case-by-case, permitting process, I really don't want Midtown turning into this, loud music at night and, because you get two, there's already competition. But if you get 3 or 4, then there's gonna be a real competition for, people's attention.
This might not be the appropriate place, but why not have more nightlife in Midtown? I think to Rick's point is like, why are we stifling this by,
We're not stifling it because we're gonna do it on a case-by-case, and we're gonna see exactly how they wanna do it, how they can present it to us. And if people don't like it, then we don't approve it. If we like it, then it's something that goes forward. And, I just thought, even last time, that we were opening up a can of worms here that's gonna, broad interpretation.
I agree.
I agree also as far as the unforeseen consequence, there's always somebody out there that's going to figure out a way. If you say that such and such is allowed, they're going to come up with something off the wall that you never thought of, and then you got problems. I'd rather see a case-by-case situation. And
Well, right now, as it stands now, there's no case-by-case review. There's nothing permitted. So what does,
Yes, but I don't know if I agree that nothing's permitted. My primary use is a bar.
yeah.
And so comes down to primary or ancillary use. What is the primary use that you're using that space for? And that's where the code comes into play. And so maybe it is, we need to break out entertainment and make it conditional. I think we all agree that we don't want a ball field down there. We don't want a, XYZ sports field or whatever. But entertainment can be fluid. So maybe that, Alex, I don't know if I think Rick's on the side of it's already fine how it is today because people are competitive in their primary space as a bar, as a retailer, et cetera. And I think you guys are saying maybe we need to put a C in the C3 for conditional.
Yeah, that's what I said. If there's, that would be my only, thing is that, maybe if it's looked at on a case-by-case basis, but it's also one where, unfortunately, when you look at business and people and how they come up with businesses and ideas, they may come up with an idea that sounds absolutely crazy to us, but it may be a great business idea. So, but I just don't know. I mean, if you separated out the entertainment and then looked at it case by case, and entertainment, even though it's broad category of stuff, if you make it also conditional that it's tied to the primary use of the business, because we've done that with, I think, a few things like, I think we did it like with the food truck was conditional upon, was tied to the main business.
Yeah.
If you put a process in place that allows you to tie it to the main business, and it comes up for review, because if it comes up for review, part of the process, Alex has to send out notices to all the businesses around it. So that's your opportunity to either say, hey, we don't like this, just like when we, piece of property for variances. People come and they either say they like it or don't like it or whatever. But, if you just allow, either get to, like I said, Rick's point, you just, okay, it's fine as the way it is, nothing, you don't do anything, or you want to have something in there to review it. And I don't know what the right answer is on that, other than if you do it, I think you split out the entertainment. The other stuff still says no, but entertainment, if you put just the entertainment conditional, it allows another step of review, not only planning wise, but this board as well. And that maybe is the way to go.
Well, I've heard for years, people wanting more life in Midtown after 8 o'clock kind of thing. And
Yeah.
so,
Well, after
After
5.
6:30, yeah.
you know, so, yeah, I am in favor of entertainment to a certain degree, and I don't know how you limit that. There's a big difference between Tomas V. Hill coming and playing on the patio at a winery versus
Yep.
Funny Mungle, you know, rocking it out on the street.
Right, an amphitheater is inherently different than a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I'm all for, like I say, to create more nightlife and stuff, but how you go about that and how you keep some controls on things, it's the noise, I think, is
Yeah.
what everybody is, the bottom line.
Yeah.
It's the
So
noise factor.
I don't think that this, not to cut off discussion because I think it's good, but I don't think we have a specific enough, I think flat out, I don't think we want to put a conditional use on the entertainment outdoor setup. Like, I don't think we want to add a C to the use table for the one that we have highlighted today. I think we need more nuance, and I think we need some more feedback from staff. Maybe we recommend breaking out entertainment, because it's different than recreational health and exercise facilities. We need to tie it to conditions for the primary, I think we need more information before we.
Sure, another option that I would bring forward, if you look in page 34 of your packet, which has the use chart in there with the accessory uses, that we could add a new definition of outdoor entertainment in there as well, and either make it, and have it be a conditional use with certain business types, such as a bar, nightclub, in there. So I will also bring that forward for
Well. or you-
consideration at a
or
future
you could-
meeting.
Yeah, that accessory use of, if it's outdoor entertainment, instead of making an accessory, do you want to make it conditional so you have a chance to review it?
Well, we can do both. I would suggest we do both. It would be an accessory use to certain types of businesses, and also a conditional use that requires review and approval by this board.
I think that's a fair compromise. I mean, it's allowed, but you've got to address, like you say, the big issue is going to be the noise. If you get the people, like I said, let's just say, for example, it is downshift, you get the people down on Rio Street, I'm not sure they want to hear, music at midnight, I mean, I know we have noise ordinances in place and all that anyway, but
Yeah, but I think you can already hear some of that in an inside building.
I can hear it a mile away, but, but that's a different,
Yeah.
that's a different animal, but I'm not living right next door to it
Put
either.
a decibel limit on it.
In section 54,
Yeah,
dash 85, anything we're talking about here must meet the local ordinance relating to lighting, noise, odors, and other impacts on adjacent properties, including section 38 and 31 and section 38 and 62, property nuisance.
Yeah.
So there again, we've already got it covered.
yep.
Yeah, that's it. So we don't change it.
Well, yeah, it's covered when you look at that use on, certainly when you look at it now as the exercise in C2, it mentions that, 5485, what you just said, Rick. But right now, under C3, none of that is enveloped in the code, because you don't have it as either conditional for C3.
I think we're talking about a lot of different things, and I think we need specifics, Alex. So if staff, I know that we've already punted this for 1 month. I think we need to have more specifics on what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and I think I'm aligned with Rick in this, I don't think there's an issue that we need to address. Tanner Irons has that nice building that he's doing a lot of work on. It's got an open deck patio. If he puts shuffleboard out there, is that not entertainment? But the primary use could be a bar, for example, if I rented that from him and put a bar in there. So I think I'm in agreement with Rick. I don't know if we have a problem statement, but maybe the staff could say and come to us, this is what we're trying to address. very specifically. Because right now, I don't know, I think we're talking around a bunch of issues.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree. We need more specifics here
This is
and tie these other code numbers together
And-
and look at it as a whole.
Yeah, and it gets back to then, yeah, with the section that's there, it's then the enforcement, you know, you still got to enforce it, you know, even if you adopt everything in section 5485, you know, and that gets to be a challenge. I know it's a challenge on the night shift. I've ridden around on the night shift, so I know what that's like, so.
Yeah, but you were in the back seat.
No, I was not in the back seat.
So I think I don't know if we need, I don't think we need a motion because it was just a continuation. We're going to continue with the old business again. And if there's more specifics that you all are seeing as staff that you think we need to address as a commission, that would be great to bring it to us.
Can and shall do. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for that, for the conversation.
Yeah, it was good. I think moving on then, the next thing is community development report, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir. So really, the only thing that I would like to bring forward would be, we have Crisanti Jones, the short-term rental administrator, here today, assisting both with the meeting operation, but then also to give a brief overview of the Rentalscapes software and where we stand with the implementation of that.
Christie?
So I get training with our POC once a week on Thursdays, and it's going pretty good. They are cleaning up all the data from what they received, and when they finally got it in there, what I saw, I got additional data that I created for them, so it took me a little while to give to them so they can get it all cleaned up, but it looks good. We're already getting payments made in it. We're getting complaints. I'm not gonna say whether or not they're verifiable yet, because I'm still in the process of getting all that compiled for you guys. But the software system has some glitches, which we all knew it was going to. It's a brand-new system, but it's moving along to where I think it's gonna work out really good. I'm watching the numbers change daily.
When do we anticipate sending the letters to the non-compliant folk?
They'll start sending me, once I finish with my training, they'll start sending me the properties to get the final approval on sending out letters, and then they'll start sending letters.
Okay,
But we gotta clean up the data that's in
I
there
get
first.
that, yeah, yeah.
So the reason we have net, I think it was 100 from September of last year, is that because we're getting folks more, we're following up with people, or is just natural attrition? Because we're down from 1,300 to 1,200 year over year.
As far as the number of rentals,
Yeah,
we did lose a few in the fire and the flooding.
Yep.
And then some people have turned their short-term rentals into long-term rentals.
Gotcha.
So that's why there's a difference in the number.
gotcha. So it's not, we have identified more uncertain status, or people are out of compliance and are
No,
getting shut down
I
because
do
of that?
see that the compliance number is going to go up, but the difference in those two numbers are from people that are switching to long-term to help people who have lost their homes, and then there were some short-term rentals that were lost in the fires and floods.
Any other questions? And then I would also, if there are not, at this point, would also, I think Chris Camacho did do a bit of introduction of himself. Chris is our planner and GIS coordinator. He comes to us from the Parks and Recreation Department, where you were there. Well, I'll let him talk a little bit more about himself, so he can introduce himself as well.
So previously, I was in the Udos Parks and Recreation Department. I've been the recreation.
Are you in the mic? Sorry.
Sure. Yeah. I've been the, before this position switch here, was the recreation supervisor for 2 years. And prior to that, I spent 4.5 years in surveying company outside of Alamogordo. and picked up a lot of my surveying and mapping experience there. Expanded on some previous experience with GIS and cartography in that role as well. And before then, I was the manager of the Hondo Iris Farm while that was still in operation in Hondo. And actually, that's what one of the roles that brought me to this area. Actually, I sought it out. I was the head manager and botanist at the Conservation Garden outside of Houston, Texas for close to a decade. And some of my personal background and interest, in planning and zoning and cartography is some of my experience in trail design throughout Cedar Creek. I helped with a number of trails out there with the National Forest, designed actually and entered into grant which had been selected for what's known as the Cedar Creek Downhill Trail, and just a lifelong interest in topography, basically. So.
Very nice. Well, we're glad to have you.
Yeah.
I was wondering how we got somebody hired so quick, and it makes sense. Basically, an interdepartment transfer.
Correct, yes. And he joined us on October 19th, so this is, coming up on a month. Also, Britta Magnuson has also done an internal transfer. She is the administrative assistant in training at the forestry department with Kathy Richardson, who Kathy's planning to retire at the end of the year. So that position has been open and advertised, and we are planning to conduct interviews for that position next week.
Sounds great.
With that, if anybody has any additional questions about what we're up to, we'll be happy to entertain those as well.
Questions for the development department?
Just the website's functioning for people to report.
I just pulled it up. It is.
Okay,
Yeah, everything's functioning on it. I get
It looks
reports
good.
daily.
good, good,
It looks real good.
good,
I'm excited.
yeah.
Any other questions for the
Nah.
staff? I have one. Do we have a date for the Christmas party yet? Or the Christmas extravaganza?
The boards and commissions mixer,
Yes.
I do not have that offhand.
Okay.
When I get that, I will let you all know so that you can do some, I would say long-range planning, but it's probably less than a month away.
It's coming fast.
It'll be likely the first week in, I believe it's the first week in December,
Sounds good.
but I will get you specific. We get those today, because there was a change. I think they're more standard sizes, right? And they're not women's sizes, and we don't have a big and tall. So I believe that might impact a couple of the members.
It would.
We'll follow up then.
Hey, I'm
with
standing here.
Yeah. I am not going to call anybody out in particular at all.
All right.
Everybody is properly sized and shaped.
Sounds good. I have a question, and I continue to ask this question. How are we looking for the Rock House, 6:30, 8:30 Meacham?
603 Meacham?
603.
So there are continuing repairs for the retaining walls to add additional drainage to those. So that is an ongoing thing that started last week, I believe. Also, progress this week has been, last week, the drive pad has been poured, so the wider driveway for the main entrance there is as well. So there is progress being made in
When
regard
are we
to.
going to have them rented?
The last update that I got a few weeks back from Levi Beatty, the current Public Works Director, is that likely it will be March, is what we're aiming toward.
Is that
But that's-
after Elk Meadows or?
No. Elk Meadows is not looking to have any occupancy until 2027. Yeah, so that.
But that's also
yeah.
a private enterprise.
That may be accelerated because that was with the assumption of a lot of the work that they thought would need to be done out there would need to be manual. They do have machinery working on that, and also that was also anticipating 2 weeks for each of the units to be done, and they are I believe they're working on multiple units at a time, so.
I noticed they did finally dig a sediment pond that, someone might have recommended 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else for the development department?
Nah.
Okay, we'll move on to commissioners' comments. I'll make a comment, I think, just about that. I think we've had 2 projects now that the village has owned for long-term housing, and both have been delayed or both have had issues with it. So I'll be interested to see how Elk Meadows turns out. That's a public-private partnership, rather than just the ones that are driven by the village. Because it seems like we've run into some roadblocks or some issues for these. So that's my one comment. Chris, the other comment I have, we're glad to have you on the team. Christy, I hope this means we'll see more of you in these meetings. You've gotten away. No? You're not going to come to these meetings? Okay.
I love you guys.
Uh-huh. But those are the only comments that I'll make. Welcome, Chris.
Yeah.
Commissioners, any other comments?
Well, welcome, Chris. Christie, you know you'll always get bugged by me.
I know.
But like I said, I'll echo some of the same comments I had last month. You know, there's a couple sociologists that the village needs to acquaint themselves with, James Wilson and George Keeling. Back in 1982, they were the proponents of what's called the broken windows theory. And that basically deals with things like vandalism, things like construction debris left on places, things like graffiti. And I'll make mention of that again simply because the village, we have ordinances in place to deal with graffiti. We've got graffiti in Midtown on one building that got burned out this past spring. The graffiti sat on that building all summer. And I had an interesting conversation with a friend of mine, ex-policeman, and his wife. And the policeman was interesting. He says, "Well," I asked him, what do you do when you see graffiti? He says, "I try to figure out what gang tagged the building." I asked his wife, "What do you see when you see graffiti?" She said, "I'm not safe here." That's her response. Now, graffiti's been in Midtown, the economic engine of the village, all summer. How many people came to Ruidoso in the middle of the summer, saw the graffiti on the building, had that same response that this woman did? "I'm not safe here." How many people said, "I'm one and done, I'm not coming back"? You know, you hear it from all the governing body that, hey, businesses are down 10, 20%, some are down 70%. Yeah, you like to blame it on the floods. The flood stuff you can explain and educate people on. The graffiti and that is something we can control. That's human. We can control that. We have the thing in place to do it. You just got to cite them, get it done, and in 5 minutes with a can of paint, you can solve it. But it was up all summer. That's one of those things that, how many people saw that, told friends, "Yeah, I saw this in Midtown. You don't want to go to Midtown." Can't have that, people. I'm sorry. That's just not acceptable. You know, I live here. I want to see the village thrive. I want to see Midtown. If I had a business in Midtown, I'd be really pissed. Yeah, if people got that feeling of not being safe walking in Midtown. So that's it. That's it for this soapbox. But same thing
Thanks
last,
for
you
your
missed it
comments,
last
Bill.
month.
I've missed you. You know, it's been gone for too
I have
long.
a comment as to Bill's comment. I mean, we talked about this last meeting. What is the process for notifying the owner, or are we notifying them as we speak that they need to get that repaired and or replaced? Or does the city just come in and do it?
So we are working with code enforcement. Bobby Simpson has left the village, so we're a little bit in limbo there. We're also working with Keep Ruidoso Beautiful. They have some funding available that may be able to take care of that, and working with the property owner to get their permission in order to abate that situation. And so I will follow up with both code enforcement and also with T-Bone to be sure that we can get that done before the next commission meeting.
Can I make a comment in that regard?
Yes, this is the time.
I don't think you even need a can of paint. They have a solvent now that you can take graffiti off of the side of your building with. It's not easy and it's not, absolute, but it's pretty doggone good and it makes it look normal. So there's no reason that at least can't be done if they don't want to invest in a can of paint or gallon or two.
Yeah, good. That's a good call. Thanks, Vicki.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Vicki.
Thank you.
Any other comments from commissioners? Bart, Rick?
I'm good.
I'm good.
They're good. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn then.
Adjourn, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I got a motion
Second.
from Bill, a second from Vicky, a second from Bart. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thank
Bye,
you all.
guys.
Thank you for